22 jobs, one at a time. This is Backlog Buster's Final Fantasy V Single Job Challenge series. The core rule is to only use the assigned job. I'll be forced to go jobless using Freelancer until the assigned job becomes available. As soon as the job unlocks, I'll switch out of Freelancer and be locked into that job for the rest of the game, for better or for worse. I'll be doing my best to see the majority of the optional content, but it's going to depend on the individual job for some of it. As an additional challenge, I'm going to try and beat the game at as low a level as possible, and to minimize grinding, though some grinding is likely inevitable. Other than that, there are no restrictions. All equipment, game mechanics, and strategies are available to beat the game and see the credits. Working through that lengthy list one by one, this time I'll be playing. Well, this time I'm switching it up. It's going to be an Earth Crystal job. I'm going to be pragmatic here. I'm going to work my way down to the Earth Crystal and then fork my save, since the Earth Crystal shattering is like a third of the way through the game. If you're watching Samurai only, Dragoon only, or Dancer only, and you have seen any of the previous videos, or you just want to see where the single job challenge actually starts, you can skip ahead to this timecode right here. Ta-da! Otherwise, we're gonna be freelancing for a while. Team status gathered up. Now to stop that wind crystal from shattering. Wing Raptor absolutely roasted, like the rotisserie chicken that he is. Shoot, we looking to start a team. The rotisserie boys. Oh right, the wind crystal. I'm just too easily distracted. Jobs? Well, we're definitely not using one of these. I'm off to talk to Zoc! No jobs means a much harder road ahead. I'm getting the gang geared up and stocking up on items in Tulle after a brief grind session. Now I can finally take on the Torna Canal. Sword swinging all the way through. Oh yeah, the monsters in the canal only attack women. So why are they hitting Ferris? Oh cool, a fun whirlpool ride. Let's-a go. Aw, boss fight, come on man. Carla Bose's Carla crushed? Just kidding, it was a bit more dicey than usual. Sword swinging and item flinging gets me through though, even though Bartz took a dirt nap. The ship graveyard is no skin off my back. Kinda spooky though, since it's full of skeletons trying to take the skin off my back. I'm going to grind a level here. Just because jobless, my stats are complete garbage and I could use some extra HP. Siren's curse is broken because Galoof's too dumb to remember who his loved ones are. Siren herself is no problem. First form, she gets cut with a bunch of swords. She inevitably puts up Protect, but promptly swaps to Undead form. Sword swinging swaps to Potion flinging. And now I'm completely out of potions. At least she's back in human form again. One final barrage of blades, and that's one step closer to my Earth Crystal job. Crushing my way down to Carwin. First on the agenda is, as usual, that Ice Rod. I may not be able to cast spells, but I can still smash rods. Now it's time for a consumable restock and a new gear. And that being said, I'm completely broke, so I need a quick grind session. Suited up, the path up the North Mountain is, as usual, pretty unremarkable. Magisa poisons Lena again. It just keeps happening. Blizzard, huh? Well, taste my Blade Barrage. Followed by a Blizzard 3 of my own by smashing that Ice Rod. I'm done with Magisa. No forts are required. Magisa left me her whip. Might prove more useful than you might think. Lena, I just cured your poison. Don't poison yourself again. Waltz is usually next, but as freelancers, it's a quick detour to Tycoon Castle. After some expository dialogue, I finally regain control and I can access Tycoon's hidden treasures. These treasures are the Healing Staff, which lets me heal my party by whacking them off. Then the Diamond Bell, which is honestly pretty unremarkable. Followed by the Ashura. The Ashura is extremely powerful at this stage of the game. And Samurai Katanas are one of the only weapons with innate critical hits. Not to mention it's like 20 attack power stronger. Big power spike coming to Tycoon Castle. But it's time to get back on track. I hope the water crystal in Waltz isn't in danger from that detour. But if it is, it can wait. I must become the consumer again. In town, I snatched up some armor upgrades and the silver specs to look my best before heading to my audience with the king. Finally, King Waltz, I'm here. You gotta stop using the crystal's power. Come on, man. Every single time. Oh, now you want me to save the crystal? Oh, how things change in a span of 5 minutes, don't they? At the top of the Waltz Tower, it's the beastly, bulging Garula. He's the master of physical attacks and counters. Unfortunately for him, he's a magic beast type enemy. That means that whips can inflict paralyze. That's right, the secret to beating Garula is giving him the old... As long as only Ferris attacks with the whip, I can minimize incoming damage by chain paralyzing Garula. And if any damage does get through, Lena can heal them by beating them off with the heal rod. Bartz with the Ashura does a ton of damage. He's completely safe as long as he waits for Ferris to get a whip paralysis off. Is this the true power of freelancing? But phew, I made it just in time for the crystal to blow up. Well, that's the water crystal down. Jobs for another time. The fire crystal's up next in Karnak. The meteor's power disintegrates Bartz and reforms him across the ocean to the other continent. I'm sure he's the same and not some inverse or dark version of Bartz from a parallel universe. There's no way that could happen. In Karnak, I'm imprisoned for doing some basic shopping. Did Bartz really get swapped after all? My new friend Sid is a poor judge of character though, and busts us out with some minor pouting. The fire ship which contains the fire crystal is the next destination, but first, the wolves must be culled. Except for generic werewolf. I love that guy. Knacks are easy battles with good gil and EXP gains. Every fight is basically an elemental rod worth of gil. I'm freelancing until the earth crystal, so I'm getting while the getting's good. Half an hour later, I'm geared up and heading through the fire ship to the fire crystal. Nothing to see here, just straight down to the bottom to see the queen. Man, how does everyone know Bartz was replaced by an evil doppelganger? Liquid flame is liquefied by a shattered frost rod. Well, at least normally it would be, but Freelancer's default magic power is terrible, so it takes 2. Actually 3, because it's swapped to the magic immune form. Okay, finally done with that. Oh, look, a flame bow. Oh, hell yeah, it's generic werewolf, and he's gone. The fire crystal blows up, and Karnak Castle's about to get blowed up too. Let's skedaddle. The elf cape and main gauche are mandatory pickups, but as a freelancer, I can actually use the hidden ribbon. This is the best headgear in the game, bar none. Tons of stat buffs and a lot of status immunity. This is a no-brainer pickup and instant equip, at least for the time being. Now to head up the left side and grab the elf cape for its 25% chance to dodge physical attacks. Then the right side to grab the main gauche for its high damage and another 25% chance to dodge physicals. Yes, they do stack. I got what I came for, time to bounce. There's no need to battle Ironclaw this time. I'll just smash a fire rod and swing my Ashura to get out of here. Rip in pieces Karnak Castle. 3 more crystal shards, and those are jobs for another time. I've got 6 frost rods and 6 flame rods left. That should be enough to get through the ancient library. Inside the library, there's only a couple of random battles. The flame bow is actually doing a ton of damage to these paper-based enemies. Who could have predicted this? Straight to Ifrit. 2 shattered ice rods and he's on the team. Listen, this was his choice, alright? He didn't have to join up with me. But with Ifrit's power, I can head to the bottom of the library to face my nemesis, Byblos. Book-based bosses, burninated with 2 shattered flame rods. Dead in a single round of combat. If only it was always going to be this easy. Sure, I'm looking forward to Thief and White Mage. Resident Brainlord Mid rescued. Back to Karnak to stage an intervention for second Brainlord Sid. Listen, Sid and Mid are like the most important characters in the story. I just gotta help them through their problems so they can be my on-demand mechanics. And I'm gonna call them in right now to get the fire ship seaworthy. Sure hope this thing doesn't sink immediately. Why would anything nice ever happen? On Crescent Island, the definitely not extinct black chocobo scarfed down my crystal shards. Nope, these are not the jobs that I'm looking for. I'm thinking some penetrating power is in order to tackle Archaeoavis. I'm going to quickly grind outside of the forest for harvesters. These guys drop death sickles, a very powerful axe weapon that can inflict instant death. I've got a couple of death sickles, let's mosey on back to the library. See? Told ya, Sid and Mid, they're like the most important characters. Fighting the sandworm with death sickles brings back some horrible memories from the dark years. I'm just gonna go ahead and eat the gravity counters and smash frost rods. 3 shattered frost rods and I'm done with the God Emperor of Dune. Should've seen that coming with all that spice, bro. I easily won King Tycoon's hide and seek tournament, and oh my god, no, not Crayclaw, the horror! A single Thunder Rod is all it takes. Even with Freelancer's terrible magic stat, 1 is enough. That's an airship for me. I can go wherever I want to now. And I want to revisit the Ronka Ruins to show King Tycoon what's what. Oh, it's just flying now. I'll just go south to Jackhole instead. There's new gear available here, and notable is that I can buy more Assuras and better armor. Also notable is the Jackhole Cave, which has a limited selection of treasures. I can pick up the Blitz Whip that's inside, so I'm risking the battles with Skull Eaters to grab it. Skull Eaters, while very scary, are easily blowed up with a Rod Smash. And here's my prize, the Blitz Whip. The Blitz Whip can randomly cast Thunder 1. Oh boy, definitely worth the detour. Now it's back to Sid and Mid, who have a plan. They want me to kill a turtle? Didn't we try to stop that by changing all the plastic straws to vastly inferior paper straws? What was even the point? Oh well, turtle meat's back on the menu, boys. A smashed ice rod with follow-up from basic attacks and the adamantoise gets turned into adamantite. Ship status upgraded. I filled up on thunder rods at Karnak and now it's up to the floating wonky ronky ruins. 2 smashed thunder rods per side launcher battle, and now it's time for the soul cannon itself. Thunder rods, lend me your power again. 1 smash leads to no more side launchers, so old is off the table. Oh, and it just blows up before I can do anything else. I'll take 1 round of combat, very cool. While my stats do suck as a freelancer, my equipment options and very strong weapons make short work of all of the random battles here. But enough chit-chat. The Earth Crystal is on the cusp. All that stands in my way is Archaeoavis. I can't take my rods with me, so I'm dialing it in. I'm smashing everything. Ferris has the healing staff equipped, so I can withstand the onslaught despite being pretty low level. That's form 1 down. Thunder rods were working a treat. Goodbye, my last flame rod. Now I have to resort to all that I have left, which is physical attacks. Archaeoavis revived itself, but it's no match for my Ashurus and Death Sickles. But Maelstrom takes my party down to critical health. Come on, you got this, Ferris, get bonkin'. The follow-up thunder from Archaeoavis is not good. Lena managed to barely survive. I've got 1 final turn. Make that last attack count, Lena. 400 damage and Archaeoavis is defeated by the absolute skin of my teeth. Kryl shows up to blast King Tycoon and then the Earth Crystal shatters and X-Death emerges. Damn, he's so ominous and cool. After an extended series of cutscenes, Galoof and Kryl must return to their home planet. But more importantly, I can finally start the job challenge. Just a little over 4 hours after starting the game. Finally, I can talk about the job of the hour, Samurai. Samurai are a lot like knights. They can use heavy armor and shields. Samurai also has a passive called Shiradori or Blade Grasp. This lets you stop physical attacks with your bare hands. This is exactly like using the main gauche or elf cape, and it, of course, stacks with those as well. You can equip a samurai with a main gauche, elf cape, shield, and have blade grasp. That makes you borderline immune to physical attacks. The main job ability for samurai is Gill Toss, or Zenigage, if you're a weeb. This lets you turn a non-combat resource, your Gill, into a combat resource. Gill Toss deals a huge amount of damage to all enemies, but quickly empties your wallet. Samurai gets a few more active abilities along the way, but I'll address those as they come up. Jobbed up and suited up with Ajuras and a main gauche, I'm interested in picking up another elf cape from the Walls Castle basement. Samurai are tough enough to survive the attacks from the Jackanapes, and I've got myself the second elf cape, making one more samurai even tankier against physical attacks. The Brain Lords have left to return the adamantite from whence it came, but I'm immediately taking a detour to Jackhole for Mage Mashers, just in case. Sid and Mid think going back to the meteors can get me back to the evil mirror dimension, I mean Galoof's world. At the Walls Meteor, it's Dirty Bomb and the boys coming into... I'm broke, so Gill Toss is definitely off the table, but it would have made this a ton easier. I'm going with the Knight strategy. Back row blocking and spamming Phoenix Downs. I'll let them destroy themselves with self-destruct so they don't counter with a rise. The shields, elf capes, main gauche, and blade grass make this basically a free fight. I need to drop 5,000 gil worth of Phoenix Downs though. Next is Karnak Meteor, and it's down to Clown with the Titan. Titan's physicals were mostly evaded by the Samurai. But Titan actually used Earthshaker, so I had to throw an elixir on Bartz. With that elixir consumed, Bartz had enough HP to survive the final Earthshaker. One more boss down. As the only survivor, Bartz learned Minuchi, or Sword Slap. This is basically the equivalent of a basic attack, but it also inflicts Paralyze. This should actually work in the Pixel Remaster. In other versions of the game it was bugged and did nothing. Very cool. Anyways, it's replacing basic attack from now on. Gone Meteor is last. Chimera Brain has kidnapped my Brain Lords, presumably to steal their brains. Well, that fight didn't go well. Maybe if I had everyone in the right row this time and had them healed up. Good old Minucci, nothing beats that. I mean, I barely survived, but barely winning still counts as winning. I'm fed up with this world, and I miss my old pal Galoof. I'm out of here, returning to the evil mirror dimension from whence I came. Imprisoned again? It just keeps happening. Oh right, Galoof is jobless right now, better remedy that. This first battle really goes to show you how strong Samurai is versus physicals. I'm basically immune to damage. Oh, it's Gilgamesh! Inconceivable? Well, conceive it, bucko! The whole gang's back together. Let's skedaddle over the big bridge. I'm sword slapping all the way to the real boss fight versus Gilgamesh. A lol drag with some blue, but none of the scary spells. You could call me daddy because someone's about to get sword spanked. Haste and protect. Oh well, lol drag might have come a little bit too soon. Wesley's in a pickle. I have to do it. I'm gonna throw my gil. Gilgamesh gilled to death. The rest of the bridge is no match for my Minucci. I'm barrier blasted across the entire world. Well, at least the enemies are easy. The natural critical hit rate of katanas is actually making short work of enemies here, and I'm barely taking damage because of Shirodori. Who could have predicted that Japan would make the Japanese jobs stronger than average? There's no new weapons, but there are armor upgrades in Rigol. But high potions are also available now. As great as they would be, I'm moving on to greener pastures, like a forest with a single Moogle in it. God, I wonder what Moogle tastes like. Moogle Eater, a kindred spirit, but I'm facing off against Tyrannosaur. That's my lunch. Phoenix down! Death! Just kidding, I threw my gil at it like an absolute buffoon. I'll just say I was showing off Samurai's power. Yeah, that's it. Edit that part out. Better actually follow the path this time around. I'm aqua breathless, so I'll get absolutely demolished in the desert. Okay, Wes, you gotta turn off auto battle, you're wasting all your money. Oh, man, one tile? I have no choice now. So long, Gil. I hardly knew you. Samurai's defenses are coming in clutch, and I guess sword spanking does cause paralysis. 'Cause I'm stun locking the sandcrawler. Finally made it out of there. Into the Moogle Forest for my rewards. A third elf cape, the dancing dagger, and a bunch of gil. God knows I'm gonna use all of that gil. Mr. Moogle, can you call me a cab? Kryl the cabbie's coming to pick me up and take me back to Ball Castle. Gotta save the Windrake, but new gear calls. Well, it would, except I'm completely broke. Great job throwing all your gil there, Wes. Oh, it's Kelgar of the Dawn Warriors, dude. I'm a huge fan. Can you sign this? Hold on, Suze tried to protect the crystal? Whoa, what? Generic werewolf has a name? My reality is shattered. There's loads of new gear in Kelb, but I'm completely broke as usual. Really should have grinded at the Black Flames in Bartz's world. Really regretting that now that all I have to grind are on the inefficient enemies outside of Kelb. But what if I were to enter the cursed Gil Cave? The Gil Cave is unique to Galoof's world. It's full of extremely strong enemies, but most importantly is this path. Every step grants twice as much gil as the last. Eventually, you will run into the dreaded Gil Turtle, though. I'm sure samurais are capable of killing it. I'm sure I totally could if I could even get there. The basic enemies in this cave are absolutely trouncing me. There goes my plan for loads of money. The Gil Cave is simply too powerful. I guess I'll just continue grinding outside of Ball and Kelb. But now I'm ready for Drakenville. Zombie dragons are of special note because they have a high drop rate for dragon fangs. Useless to me, but merchants buy them for 2,500 gil a pop, which means they're worth getting for gil tossin'. The bone mail is usable by samurai, so of course I'm grabbing it as I head on through. Also worth noting is this hidden chest for the Wind/Container, an upgrade that randomly uses the Breathwing ability. Also, right next to it is the Hypno Crown. I'm gonna hawk this for 37,500 gil as soon as I can find a merchant. Minucci supersedes the ability to use Breathwing with the Wind Slash, but you know, whatever. Samurai's magic stat sucks anyways. Speaking of, past West, you really should have used the Dancing Dagger for its higher damage output. Sword spanking would have negated the truly terrible downside of the random dance command. But I digress, and now Lena must digest the Dragon Pod. Lena, stop. Please stop eating poison. Lena's love for poison trumped only by her love of animals. I'm gonna pay those lesser pods 10,000 gil to get lost. Now I will begin the sword spanking. Paralyze either works, or the Dragon Pod just gave up and did nothing. Time to head back. I'm leaving Drakenvale forever. World first returning from Drakenvale, by the way. Back in Ball, I'm grabbing the Greatsword. Not to use, but to add to the war chest after I sell it. Lena, stop, for the love of God. I guess it keeps working, but man, she's gonna regret it at some point. I'm taking the Windrake straight to Sage Guido's, and he's gone. I'm also going to take a short detour to Surgate. What are you looking for, a bongo mag? I guess Bartz was an ass man the whole time. Anyways, the real reason I came here was because I can buy Osafune containers. Just a small upgrade for me. Now I'm off to Zayza's fleet as usual. You know what? I'm kinda over Zayza. He's dropping to my third favorite character. Zork! Getting bumped up 2 places to first position. Suze can stay in second, but only barely. He's less mysterious now that I know his name. Swashbuckling gobbledygooks to get to Gilgamesh. I hoped I could burst down Gilgamesh with crit fishing, but I could not. I'm gonna have to dip into the retirement fund. And Kidu, I'm gonna pay you 10,000 gil to get lost. On your own now, Gilgamesh, I'm gonna sword spank you worse than your daddy ever could. Zaza, no, I don't want to see an ancient shipwreck. Drive me straight to the barrier tower. A classic conundrum. Do I grind for wall rings here? I think I need to get a few, just for old time's sake. After a short grind session of about 30 minutes, I snagged a couple. Time to reach the top. Samurais don't have a secret strategy for Atmos. I'm just gonna begin the sword spanking and hope for the best. Galoof's obviously the patsy at this point, so I'm just racing Atmos. Oh, slow? Very cool. Well, boys, it was inevitable. I'm never going to financially recover from this. Ferris got sucked in, but immediately after, Galoof took Atmos out. Hope this is the real Ferris and not some evil or dark version of Ferris from an alternate dimension. This is what, the 5th time Zaza sacrificed himself now? An endless loop of failing to stop X-Death as a Dawn Warrior and then blowing yourself up. Anyways, with this amateur submarine held together with nothing but hopes and dreams, let's go find Sage Guido. I hate this part so much, it's unreal, bros. Oh well, the Guardian branch is mine. Coming up from an underwater tunnel to get to Moor. Getting to Moor is usually a major milestone for a lot of jobs, but it's pretty unremarkable for samurai. Air knives are technically more powerful than Osafune, which is pretty embarrassing. There's new armor too, but I simply can't afford it. I'm fighting my way through the forest and then X-Death sets it on fire. Would have been convenient if you did that before I started. I will of course be grabbing the Aegis Shield, the best shield in the game, bar none. Now straight into the Guardian Tree for a battle with 4. Huh? My wallet is flush with cash from the excursion through the forest. 2 gil tosses is all it takes, completely obliterating the crystals with the power of money. Now, Angry Galoof begins the Minucci spam. It's simply too good. But all good things must come to an end. Galoof has died, and now as part of her inheritance, Kryle's gotta help me to defeat the evil warlock X-Death, or else ownership of the beers reverts to Yvette. I, however, have an attention span that's not measured in nanoseconds, so I'm heading straight to X-Death's castle. Kelgar, sacrifice yourself just like Zaza did so I can get in here. Oh, okay, or just change the decor. Not what I would have picked, but alright. First chest is once again the Ice Shield, very powerful for the rest of the game. Now it's just a matter of sword slapping my way through X-Death's evil lair. I haven't really mentioned it before, but Samurai's offensive capabilities are honestly pretty unremarkable. Samurai is mostly a defensive job, so my basic attacking is incredibly mediocre. Like, listen, Giltoss obviously rocks the house, but my wallet cries every single time. When I get to this weird bridge, I can snag the Kotetsu for a minor damage spike, applicable to exactly one character. Real shame that I've got 4 samurais to outfit. I'm probably a little underleveled at this point. I'm not willing to throw Gil at random battles, so these are quickly becoming a massive slog. But here I am, at the top. It's time for an honor battle versus fellow samurai slash dragoon slash blue mage. Flash, very cool. Eye drops all around on the first turn. I swear, he's using every status effect under the sun just to be annoying. Auto battle reigns supreme until he absolutely murks Kryle. God, would you stop with the negative status ailments, please? Once Gilgamesh changes forms, I've won, but man, that was one annoying battle. With Gilgamesh out of the way, it's on to X-Death himself. If you think I wasn't gonna put on reflect rings and spam Gil Toss, you have not been paying attention to the literature. Every single battle that I fought here was to collect Gil. This is all so I can shower X-Death to death with coins going Mach 3, absolutely obliterating his body in the process. What? Where am I? Oh look, it's Castle Tycoon. Whoa, what? Ferris was a babe? Yeah, great plan, Bartz. Just leave the 2 beautiful twin princesses. What is your problem, Bartz? Boko knows his part in saving the world is pivotal. He must leave his pregnant wife to carry me across a river. Oh no, not the antlion. Whatever will I do? Get Minucci'd to death, bro. Probably should have worn the elf capes, but I took him out before he killed anyone. Well, killed anyone important anyways. Ferris rejoins the party looking a lot frumpier than 5 minutes ago. Exposition Cave, Exposition Battle, and Exposition Library. Final Fantasy V is really light on story, especially compared to other Final Fantasy games. But man, when there is story exposition, for some reason it just feels so bad. Maybe it's just because it's the 5th time I'm seeing it recently. Oh well, only 17 more times to go. And speaking of more times, it's the Pyramid of Moor. I'm taking a quick pilgrimage to grab the second main gauche, as well as the chicken knife. Ah, god damn it. Brave blade snatched by accident. Chicken knife will have to wait for another time. I am, however, completely broke, so I need to farm some gil before I tackle the gargoyles. I have to kill the gargoyles at the same time. 2 gil tosses should be enough to get rid of them. Inside the Pyramid of Moor, there's tons of treasures to get, but silly me, I always run straight to the top, passing the second ice shield and a new flame shield. What is wrong with me? Anyways, I fought my way all the way to the top, and I've got the tablet. Time to get my best girl, Lena, back. Oh god, did eating all of that poison finally do her in? It was just demonic possession. That I can deal with. Melusine is a bit of a problem. I stupidly dumped all of my cash while she was barrier resistant. Now I'm doing no damage. This'll be a fun battle, I'm sure. I'm not even wearing reflect rings. I'm totally off my game. Melusine barrier changes and a physical attack lands. It's time to throw my wallet at her. It wasn't enough. Containers, give me your power. Melusine's always the real final wall. Once she's gone, I've got the merged world at my fingertips. After a few lengthy cutscenes showing the world getting slurped up into the void, of course. The first stop is Mirage Village. I'm broke, so I'm just snatching up the thief knife and freeing the black chocobo. Then it's straight up to the northern desert. Samurai's never-ending cash quest continues. I'm slaughtering enemies in the desert for cash and experience. Hilariously, I still haven't mastered Samurai either. This final ability really had better be worth it. I'm not gonna lie to you. Samurai's one of the slower grinders in the merged world. Classic Backlog Buster Challenger words. Work smarter, not harder. Let's do some research. Turns out I can get better swords in a couple of spots. First is I can get back on the airship and drive around in the lake beside Crescent. Rooks live here, and I can steal Murasames from them. Rooks only drop gil. Worth noting is that I'm actually only level 32 as a samurai. This is the lowest level I've been in these challenges so far. Now it's time for a trip to the sealed castle of Kyuza. I'm obviously going to take the Masamune. This has high damage, gives the character with it first turn, and it can be used to cast haste in battle. Next, of course, is the Assassin's Dagger. Get in here, old friend. Third, well, really, who cares? I can't use anything else. I won't leave you in suspense. I picked the Flame Lash. With slightly better gear, I'm back to grinding. I'm looking to get as much gil as possible. If I can get some better weapons through rare steals, then so be it. Rook's not immune to instant death. That's good to know. I finally unlocked the last samurai ability on the battle I stole a defender sword. Sure wish I could actually use that this time. Anyways, the last samurai ability is Iani Nuki. And what exactly does it do? Well, it makes an attempt to instantly kill everything on screen. Oh man, it really works too. Well, that's gonna speed up grinding by a metric ton. I've got the cash now. I'm grabbing my 4 pairs of Hermes sandals. Hello, my beloved. It's been too long. Permanent haste is simply too good to pass up. I'm also going to buy Ichimonjis from the shop. Stranger containers all around. Now it's time to hawk all of my rare and expensive gear for better armor. Yeah, goodbye Defender, goodbye Brave Blade, you're all going. I'm constantly broke and I need the cash. I'm sure I'm a bit shy on levels, so I'm heading back to the desert to continue the grinding, for EXP this time. This should go very fast with my new abilities, especially when everyone's equipped with it and spamming it. Grind session complete. Back on task, I'm headed to the island shrine. The content calls. Dude, can I Iani Nuki the gargoyles? No, I cannot. Well, wallet it is. Gil tossed to death in a single turn. My power's increasing. The island shrine has nothing of value to me as usual. It's just hitting that lever and going straight to the bottom as quickly as possible. At the very least, I can insta-kill a bunch of the encounters. That does really speed things right up. My physical attacking damage actually feels reasonable too. Is this the power of just leveling up? That tablet. Give it to me. Wendigo shows up. Do I engage with this shell game like a dirty commoner? Or do I shower him with gil? No, I gotta save my money. And frost counters will actually kill my team. Yep, the long and slow way it is. Wendigo isn't even a threat. This is just a fight of systematically working through each target until you get a hit in, then starting all over again. What a surprise, I've won. Fork Tower unlocked. Once I fight my way out of here, of course. At the Fork Tower, listen, I have reflect rings. This means I'm basically invincible and can run omniscient out of MP over the course of 16 hours. I'm gonna take the path of least resistance and head to Moor and grab Fire 3. Tycoon Sisters, Change yourself to black mages, then head up the left side. Bartz and Kryl, stay as samurai up the right side. The Tycoon sisters are cheesing it from everything, and then Kryl and Bartz can smack everything to death. At the top, Minotaur's physicals are no match for Samurai's shields and innate Shiradori. I'm basically invincible, a barrage of blades, and I'm done with Minotaur. Like I said earlier, Omniscient is just getting blasted with Fire 3 until he's dead. I shan't be waiting around for 16 hours so I can smack him to death with samurai swords. I'm moving on with my life. A self-flare may as well be a self-own. With the Fork Tower destroyed, I can finally reunite with Brainlord/Mechanics Sid in mid. Submarine capabilities restored to my airship. Thanks, guys. You know I still actually have to defeat X-Death, right? May as well get all of that submarining out of the way. First off to the Sunken Walls Tower. I'm just heading straight to the bottom where I meet up with famed mimic Gogo. Famed? Well, I don't know about that. I never heard of him. I will simply mimic Gogo. Gogo was doing nothing, I did nothing, fight's over. Crystal Shard acquired, time to bounce. I can't forget my magic lamp either. One last task for Boko. The magic lamp is recovered, now he can go back to his family. Top of history, then bottom of history?
Not a chance.
I'm trenching it. Oh right, gargoyles again. I almost forgot. I'm gonna pay you 10,000 gil to get lost. The question is, can I use the I am nuking ability down here in the trench? Well, yes I can. That trivializes any and all random battles down here in the undersea trench. This is a really overpowered ability. I think I've been sleeping on Samurai for a long time. Listen, I know Giltos is OP, but that ability's nuts. Well, that's the trench handled. I wonder how hard the oinking triplets will be. Oh, they're vulnerable to it too? Alrighty then. Ferris ate a Delta attack and it took a few rounds, but they're completely trounced. Tablet acquired and I'm nuking my way out of here. What's another trip to the North Desert on the Black Chocobo? I'm dragon hunting. The full Reflect Ring set is on. Let's give Bahamut the business. Time is money, so I'm hanging on to mine. Reflect Rings carry me, I'm auto-attacking. Maelstrom, looking good, just get down to that final Mega Flare bracket. And there it is. Easy cheesy victory for me. One more boss defeated with a self-own. I'm still in the North Desert, so why not tackle the Phoenix Tower? It's a pretty leisurely cruise to the top. Just kidding, there's like 30 sets of stairs. I can basically use Zansetsuken too, you know. But I'm in Super Saver mode. I'm clipping coupons at this point, so auto battle it is. Slowest Odin yet with 19 seconds left on the clock, but a win's a win. Time for History Falls for the final tablet. One last set of gargoyles. Be gone, peasants! Random battles are really a lot simpler when you can instantly kill everything on turn 1. Oh god, except Tonberries, get me out of here. I wouldn't possibly forget my second Aegis shield, would I? No, I didn't. I picked it up. 4th dungeon, 4th tablet. Oh no, a boss fight. Cool beans. Oh, it's Leviathan. Do I even have coral rings? Did I forget to get some? Well, I guess I don't have any. Let's give it a whirl anyways. Putting my faith in the auto battle and Aegis shields. Not a single tsunami? Incredible. I guess I spoke too soon. Leviathan used exactly one tsunami though. Killed quickly. Coral ringless. That's all of the content at the top of the merged world. I'm gonna grind a little bit to see if I can get some rare containers with a thief knife and then get enough gil for 4 coral rings. Leviathan gave me a pass. It's unlikely that Twintania does the same. I'm restocked on items too, so it's time to finally head to the end zone. The first floors are nothing special as usual. I'm trouncing everything with basic attacks and Iani Nukis. I actually have to fight everything too. I need as much gil as humanly possible. This ability is beyond busted. It's usable in almost any random encounter. But before long, I'm at the end of the forest and I'm looking at a suspicious tree, then heading inside the newly opened hole to find a blue woman. She counters all physicals with Drain, so this is gonna be obnoxious. Giltos only did 400 damage? I guess I really am gonna spam physicals and hope for the best. I'll wear her down with physicals, it's only a matter of time. The only question is whether or not I can survive the drain counters. I did have to resort to spamming items, only at the very end though, I got her down. And I spent 0 gil, just beautiful. Dude, I can instant kill the pigs. Your high evasion is meaningless. Walking past that super boss Omega straight into a panda. My strategy remains the same. Attack, throw around a gil, then attack some more. These boss battles are really draining my wallet. I'm losing money fast, even though I'm fighting everything that I come across. Inside the castle, and here's our friend Azul Magia. I will simply spam Gil Toss. Get hit with a Zenny Bonanza, you doofus! Save point activated and used. Next, it's a catastrophe. Oh no, the world is being buried in gold coins. Samurai can easily shrug off the Earthshakers. Well, like, they barely survived, but the Zenny Bonanza reigns supreme. Halicarnassus's kiss won't trick me. I've got your number. Big Frog. Too bad my Zenny Bonanza even works while toted. Get destroyed, idiot. Time for Twintania. Well, despite me actively going out of my way to get coral rings, I forgot to have them on. Whoops. Oh. He doesn't counter Gill Toss? The Zenny Bonanza continues. Dude, just imagine engaging with a boss's main mechanics. Like, just imagine. Listen, deep down in my heart, I knew that Samurai Only was gonna be easy, but 0 resistance? That I did not expect. There's no reason to fight anything in the Crystal Zone. Final Fantasy may run on a crystal-based economy, but I'm running on Zenny and Gill, and these guys simply don't drop it. At least not in quantities to make these battles worthwhile. Here I am at the bottom. It's the Necrophobe. Invincible barriers, huh? Well, I'll see about that. Well, they're immune to my I am nuking ability. Okay, Zenny Bonanza it is. One round of Zenny slinging and those barriers are toasted. Necrophobe now resorts to only physical attacks and vacuum waves. Necrophobe's physicals are still scary, especially in the front row, but can my Samurai's insane physical evasion reign supreme? Well, I mean, of course it did. Bart's managed to survive the barrage and brings the party back from the brink with Phoenix Down spam. Phoenix Down spam always works, and it never goes out of style. Should I have put everyone in the back row for this fight? Yes. Should I have spammed Gill Toss during this fight? Also yes. But my Samurais with main Goshes are pretty hard to hit physically. I weathered the storm and Gilgamesh emerges. I've won. Now onto the main man, Exdeath himself. I'm at level 43 and I've got 124,000 gil burning a hole in my pocket. Oh no, I'm trapped forever in the void. Oh look, it's the Dawn Warriors! And Lena's dad. Exdeath, you may have the power of the void, but I have a Scrooge McDuck pool full of money and I'm gonna hit you with it. Ferris ate a flare and died, and White Hole hit Lena, but she had an Aegis shield, so all I had to do was revive her. The Zenny spam is only doing about 2,700 damage a hit, but before long, that's the end of Phase 1. For Neo Exdeath, my strategy has not changed. I am going to use the power of the lamp. That's one part down. Now for the Gill Tossin'. That Grand Cross was also barely an inconvenience. Keep it up, guys. My pockets are bottomless. 0 damage? Oh, it's over. It's never been more over. I have to resort to basic attacks. I'm living my life on a prayer at this point. Nope, not a chance. My only recourse is to grind more gil. I have Necrophobe's Rift save point. I can just farm gil and use cottages until I accumulate enough. 15 minutes later and I have another 50,000 gil. That should be more than enough to take on Neo Exdeath. It also probably helped that I was a little more conservative in the first phase. Starting off by spamming regular physical attacks to wear down his health before starting the Zenny Bonanza. Phase 1 was bursted down. Lena and Kryl are on death's door, but it shouldn't be a problem. Kryl's death sentence, so she's definitely on borrowed time. 3 rips on the lamp for an easy clearing of the babe in the back with Zantetsuken. Now, the Gill Tossing begins. Scrooge McDuck, I'm empty in the pool. Grand Cross mostly whiffed again, but Ferris is berserked. Well, can't do anything about that. The gill's going further and faster than ever. The front part goes down, and then the remaining parts die immediately after. I killed Neo Exdeath so fast that Kryl survived her death sentence. It's all over. That's Final Fantasy V completed using only Samurai. Samurai was completed at level 43 in a reasonable 15 hours, 3 minutes, and 27 seconds. Technically, Lena was 42, but that's splitting hairs. Samurai was slightly higher level and slightly slower than Black and Blue Mage for context. It was very close. I spent a lot more time grinding than I would have liked. First, to get some superior weapons that I kind of didn't really need, and second, to get enough gil to fill up a small swimming pool. I think Samurai actually could have been the leader in terms of both speed and level, but it is a little hard to be completely unbiased since you're freelancing through basically the entirety of World 1. That's kind of the nature of these challenges. The stats are mostly for my interest's sake. They go out the window as soon as boosts come into play, which will be when I get to Red Mage. Containers are pretty strong weapons, but realistically, anything that's not a Knight Sword, regular sword, or dagger are a neglected weapon class in Final Fantasy V. The game assumes that you're going to use a diverse set of jobs. When you're locking yourself to only one, there's just not enough weapons to go around, unless you spend a lot of time grinding rare steals or rare drops. But unsurprisingly, Samurai's a super good job. Innate Blade Grasp is like getting a free elf cape, which is always incredibly useful. Then the ability to equip shields is always incredibly powerful. Not to mention the insanely strong Fatal Draw ability, which can instantly kill hordes of enemies. Samurai's one real downside is physical damage output, but that's easily remedied. Because just like in real life, all of your problems can be solved by throwing money at them. Samurai is easily one of the easiest jobs to win with in Final Fantasy V. It's completely brainless too. If you've got enough gil, you've got a free win, and it's very fast. I do wish I could have shown off the Gil Cave in Galoof's world a little more, but I was severely underleveled. Then you need a very specific setup to take on the Gil Turtle. It basically requires float and some kind of penetrating attack like Spell Sword. At that point in the game, the Gil Turtle is basically an optional super boss. I maybe could have spammed Gil Toss to beat the Gil Turtle, but the point of going down there was to make money, not to use it all fighting the Gil Turtle. That's really all I have to say about Samurai. It's an S-tier defensive job with an S-tier damage skill in Gil Toss, leading to an easy win. Imagine having a no combat cost instant cast attack that deals insane damage. Just imagine as you slap vacuum waves away with your bare hands. But what if instead I played a job that's always, and I mean always, terrible in every single game it appears in? Tune in next time for my favorite job as I beat Final Fantasy V using only Dragoons.